So I'm going to give you guys a quick tour of how the Nutcracker editor works. Just launch it. This is a workspace. You have the usual things done here. You can drag them to mix, to suit what you need. So to start editing files, you can either use this button. What this does is it tracks folders. You can't at the moment create files in here. You need to create them in the Explorer. So you can either start tracking a folder here, or you can just drag it. So if you go, for example, I have something here ready to use. So for example, if I drag one folder here, there you go. You can start working on these files. It will only show you the files with this extension. So you should select what interpreter you want to use. At the moment, I provide two. So this is the default Squirrel, and this is another project. It's pretty much discontinued at the moment, but it was still nice just to have it. So the shortcuts are pretty much the same thing as Visual Studio. So you just press F5 to run with the debugger. See, there you go. You can set breakpoints the same way. You'll have the breakpoints down here. So now if I press F5, it should stop in there. See, there you go. Then you can just use F10 or F11 as Visual Studio. So if you want to work on other files, other folders, for example, if you want to create another file, you need to do it in the Explorer itself. So I'm going to create another one here. It won't synchronize automatically. You need to refresh it. See, there you go. Another thing to keep in mind is it will, when you press F5 to run, it will launch the file you are currently editing. So for example, if I go here, open this one, press F5, doesn't do anything because you don't have anything to run in here. So if I go here, then it's fine. See, the usual. You can work on more than one folder, of course. So if I go here, folder 2, drag, there you go. I'm going to show you some of the debugging features. So I'm going to start with this file. You have the call stack, right? So I'm going to set, for example, a breakpoint on this file. This function will be called from the other file. So this function will be called basically from this file. This is just a chain. So call this one will call this one, and this one will call the function on the other file. So if I press F5 to run, see, stopped on the other file. We have the call stack in here. You can check the locals on the call stack you have. For example, this one variable. You can't change the values, it's just read only. You can also have watches. A watch is it can actually evaluate Squirrel expressions. So if I put, for example, here, say this function, get some string. I'm gonna have the two things in here, this one and this one. Let's stop, start again. So it will evaluate this, what you have in here. This is a function. This, you see, it returns. The result is what the function is returning. And you can also actually debug arrays, objects. You can just use this tree like thing. So if I go here, call stack, just an array, simple array, you can see everything in here. I guess that's pretty much it. What else? You can add more interpreters if you want. You go to the Nutcracker folder. You have this one here. I'm providing these two, so you can add just another one. I'm just going to copy, right? So let's see, for example, let's just add another copy of this one. You need a configuration file for each interpreter you want to add. Right. Let me just use another editor, it's easier. There you go. Just the name. The string, basically the command used to launch without the debugger, and the command used to launch with the debugger. That's it. So when you launch the editor, it will look for any config files, and then it will just have the options in here. So if I exit this thing, launch again, there you go. You have the option in here. Let's just grab some folders again. Go. And there you have it. In this case, you would probably want a separate process and not a copy. So your game, let's say. You can save the workspace, which will save the breakpoints, watches, and what folders you're tracking. So for example, here I'm tracking these two, right? So if I go, you see it's untitled. If I save workspace, it will ask you where to save. There you go. So now, if I open it, I can just load that workspace again. Just easier, because you probably want to work, same breakpoints. There you go. And that's pretty much most of the features, I guess. So anything you can just check on the website.